the facts that Cyrus had a gun, a 14-year-old black boy had a gun, that case is harder for the prosecution because of those people's experience. That's the truth. It made it harder to sell him as an innocent, helpless, unarmed child when you got all these children in the community getting shot and killed by other children. They're tired of it. Black America is tired of that. And that gave the jury a reason to say we may not like what happened, but we're not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that this was murder. We know what these kids are doing. It's not unbelievable that he would pull a pistol out and aim it at this boy. We know what's going on in this community. Why you think he was packing a gun in the first place? This is what's going on in the jury. This is what the jury talking about. And see, that's what people don't want to deal with. They don't want to admit that black jurors can be tired of crime too. We're not pro-crime in the black community. What kind of fool thinks that? You can't admit that black voters are tired of teenage gun violence. They don't want to admit that black homeowners get tired of disorder. You paying all these property taxes and mortgages, and you can't even enjoy your household. Some of y'all can't even sit out on your porch. You can't even go for a walk. The neighborhood just goes straight down. See, they don't want to admit that black working people can be tired of having neighborhoods and schools and businesses and property values affected by other black people who don't give a damn about anybody else's quality of life. And so they express themselves in that jury verdict. Look, man, let's be real. People who sit in juries are often people who show up. They're registered voters. They're reachable. They're responsible enough to come to court when summoned. Many of them have jobs. Many of them own businesses. Many of them have parents. They're homeowners or renters trying to keep a stable life. Many of them are taxpayers. Many of them are people who've got something to lose. And people who've got something to lose don't look at crime the same way as people who don't have anything to lose. If you work as an HVAC or trucking, you're in education, you're a school teacher, you're a nurse, you're in law enforcement or a lawyer, you're an engineer, you're a real estate agent, or a business, accounting, construction, or any other serious field. You know what I'm talking about. You work hard. You pay taxes. You pay rent on a mortgage. You pay insurance. You take care of your children. You try to live in a decent area. You try to keep your family safe. You try to build something. And then you watch a small group of reckless people tear down the quality of life of everybody else. And after a while, you get tired. Somebody type tired in the chat room. You get tired of the weed smoking. You get tired of the drug dealing. You get tired of the gun toting. You get tired of the crash out culture, being treated like it's some kind of authentic blackness. It's not. It's a dysfunction. And see, that's why all that name calling, it don't work anymore. You're going to call all 5 of those jurors Sambos because they're tired? Because they're tired of the destructive behavior? You're going to call them all, you're going to call all 5 of those black jurors coons? Some of them might be your grandmas. You're going to call them all Uncle Toms? Because see, it's possible that those were just black people with a different value system. It's possible that they heard the evidence and said, we're tired of 14-year-olds with guns. Is it possible that they said this child should never have had a pistol in the first place? Is it possible that they believe even if they didn't like Rick Child's actions, that the presence of that gun created a reasonable doubt? And see, that's the great black divide. Some black people want every case to be race first. They want facts second. Other black people are saying, no, we're going to look at the facts first because facts are what decides cases. Some black people want to make every black defendant or black descendant a symbol. Other black people are saying, no, we can't love black people and still tell the truth about their behavior. Some black people want to blame the system for everything. Other black people are saying the system can be wrong, but our own decisions can destroy us too. And that's the same thing you see happening with the Carmelo Anthony case. The boy shouldn't have had a knife. I don't care what y'all say. He shouldn't have had a knife on campus. If he hadn't had a knife by default, if he wanted to defend himself, maybe he could have hit him upside the head with his book bag, or he would have just did the fisticuff. That's why we don't let children carry firearms, because they make emotional decisions. And I know a lot of y'all are saying, hey, the jury got it wrong. Y'all saying he was railroaded. People that are saying it's racism, but here's what the difference is now. 20 years ago, a lot of black people who disagreed would have whispered. They would have said it at the barbershop, man, you know, you shouldn't have had a knife with it. They would have said it when they got home. They would have said it behind closed doors. They wouldn't have said it out loud because they didn't want to be called a coon or a sellout or an Uncle Tom. That's changed now. Now you got a whole different group of black people who don't care about offending that old protest mindset. They don't care if you call them names. They don't care if you say they're not black enough. They grew up watching the degenerate behavior. They saw the chaos. They grew up in the ghetto. They left the ghetto. They saw single mothers struggling. They saw fathers absent. They saw gang culture. They saw pants sagging. They saw twerking. They listened to the gangster rap. They heard we had all these songs about weed smoking 30 years ago. They saw the gun culture. They went to the funerals. They got the T-shirt. They saw the prison sentences. They was giving out football numbers, basketball numbers. They saw the school fights. They saw the neighborhood decline. And they said, we don't want to live like that. And that's what people are missing. See, this isn't just about Rick Child. This isn't just about Cyrus Carmack Belton. This isn't about Carmelo Anthony. This is about a rising group of black people saying, we're not defending dysfunction anymore. We're not defending teenagers with guns. We're not defending deadly force over pride. We're not defending people who create danger, then expect the whole race to show up afterwards and pretend like they were victims. We're not defending every bad decision just because the person who made the decision is black. Don't matter how much your mama get on the TV and cry. And again, that doesn't mean we stop caring about black people. We generally love ourselves. And it definitely doesn't mean we're going to stop fighting racism. That doesn't mean we stop demanding fairness in court. That doesn't mean we stop questioning police and prosecutors and judges and juries. That's what we're supposed to do. But let me tell you what it does mean. It means we're going to stop lying to ourselves. It means we stop pretending that every black person involved in the tragedy is automatically innocent of bad judgment. We're gonna stop. We not pretending that every black person locked away in prison is innocent. We know that's not true. And we certainly, it means we stop pretending that guns in the hands of children is normal. That is not normal. It means we stop pretending that the community can survive if we keep excusing the same behavior that's been destroying it over the past 45, 50 years. So when people ask why Rick Child's jury acquitted him, don't just scream racism and move on. Deal with the real facts. Deal with the fact that the jury makeup. Deal with the fact that it was 5 black jurors on that jury. Deal with the gun, the semi-automatic gun. Deal with the burden of proof. Deal with the self-defense argument. Deal with the crime stats in South Carolina. and what was in the background context of what those black people in Columbia, South Carolina have been experiencing. All them young people getting shot. Carrying weapons, tearing up the community. Because this is the part of the conversation that usually gets overlooked. Black people aren't just tired of racism. Black people are also tired of crime. We're tired of black on black crime. We're tired of hearing about it. Black people aren't just tired of police misconduct. Black people are tired of young fools with guns.